A serious diver's watch by a serious Seiko fan. What's up, guys? It's your boy Rich here with Crafter Blues Mechanic Ocean. And no, it's not upside down. I think a lot of us have seen their ads. So it's time to take a look at the watch. Let's go take a closer look. Let's go. And here is the Mechanic Ocean in 45 millimeters, 49 millimeters from lug to lug, 15.8 millimeters tall, and with a 22 millimeter lug width. And probably the first thing we're going to notice about the case, especially if we're right-handed, is the side of the crown, which is on the left side instead of where it typically is on the right side. Instead, Crafter Blue put a helium escape valve there, or sometimes it's just called the release valve, and we'll cover more of that in a moment.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
So I wanted to get an early wrist shot because I realized at 45 millimeters in diameter, it could be alarming for some people. But as you can see here, I think it wears really nicely on my 6.5-inch wrist. And in fact, no part of the watch extends beyond my wrist bone. In fact, the lugs fall exactly within the wrist bone area. So I do not think this is large wearing at all, even though it is 45 millimeters in diameter. And in fact, I think the top of the watch just hugs my wrist so perfectly and comfortably. It reminds me of a koala bear hugging a tree. I think the proportions are really curvy and really comfortable. And I think I really like the size because it doesn't wear large on me. So the reason the Crafter Blue team chose to put the oversized crown, and there it is, a nicely signed crown protected by 2 crown guards, is because they felt that the oversized crown may be too cumbersome if it was on the right side. And it did take me about 1.1 seconds to get used to it. And then I quite like it because all of my watches have the crowns on the right side instead. So it is different to the point where I do like it. So no, it was not specifically designed for a left-handed person. And there are 2 unique texts right around the crystal, and it is nicely, deeply engraved instead of just painted on. And on the right side here, it says Professional Divers 300 meters. And that's because it is water resistant to 300 meters. And over here, it says Helium Escape Valve. So let's talk about that. What exactly does that do, or what is a helium escape valve? Well, it is basically a small spring-loaded one-way valve integrated in the case, and then it's activated when the difference between the inner and the outside pressure reaches a critical level. And then as a result, the valve releases the helium, hydrogen, and other gases that are trapped inside the watch case. And without it, for example, the crystal would just explode from the pressure. And interestingly, it was Rolex and Doxa who co-created the helium escape valve in the 1960s. Rolex was the Submariner Sea Dweller, and Doxa was their Conquistador. And I like what Crafter Blue did with the date window, giving it a black background behind the white digit. And I think that's a really nice touch. It just makes it stand out really nicely. And I do like this gray dial. It has sort of this gray or black speckled texture throughout the dial, and this is the gray version with the gray and orange bezel insert, though I wouldn't really call it orange or bright orange, and it's not quite red, so I'll compromise and call it blood orange. But it is also available in an all black and with a blue and red bezel insert. And if we get the model with the bracelet, it also comes with the matching 2-tone vulcanized rubber strap with the curved ends. And this is actually how Crafter Blue got their start, was making high quality rubber straps with the curved ends for Seiko, and then later on with the Tudor Black Bay. And so we can see that with the curved ends, they will fit the watch perfectly, not just their own brands, but the other brands as well. And that makes it obvious when you don't have curved ends. It just gives us that unsightly gap, not the case with Crafter Blue. So I like the finishing on the polished part of the watch. I think it has a nice mirror-like reflection. I actually think I like it better than their brushed texture here. There's nothing wrong with the brushed, it's fine, but I just think the polished finishing is the star between the 2 types of finishes. So let's talk about this bracelet, which is a nice double clasp bracelet, and there's their logo right there, because we might notice that it does not have a diver's extension clasp. Instead, they have or provide the matching rubber strap, which probably has more holes than any other strap that I've seen. So this will act as, I guess, your diver's extension because it will fit over any wetsuit. They did do a really nice job with the quality of the bracelet though, so let's listen to how crisply it closes. So the bracelet is a nice job. It is a really nice overall package by Crafter Blue. So what is the bezel action like? Well, let's find out. It is a 120 count unidirectional bezel. So it is not quite as audible or very clicky that some bezels actions provide, but it is very smooth and solidly made. So we can see there is no play, not quite as clicky, but very smooth and very well made. I want to show you the loom shop because it is actually a really cool loom. It's sort of this Arctic blue, or we might even call it a Smurf blue, but it is a nice blue loom. I think this is a nice time for some wrist shots, so I'll be right back. And you know, Mickey will keep you company. Oh. Let's take a look at this case back. What are we seeing? Well, we're seeing the Mermaid Warrior holding the trident. And I think Crafter Blue did a nice job because it is nice and deeply engraved. In fact, I wouldn't mind it taking up more real estate on the case back than just in the center. In fact, I wouldn't mind it taking up the entire case back because it is attractive. And because it is a solid case back, we don't get to see the movement. So what is powering this watch? Well, it is their caliber 3531, which is based off of Seiko's NH35 movement, and it is regulated and decorated in-house, including their custom red gold-plated rotor with the Geneva pattern waves. The retail price for the Mechanic Ocean with the bracelet and the rubber strap is $5.99, but your boy has a discount code, which is what's on the wrist, and I'll include that in the description, where that gets you 10% off, so that brings the cost down to $540. And for that, we get a pretty nice presentation. Here is the Crafter Blue box that it comes in that unfolds. There is the extra strap that comes in there in addition to the warranty card. So, you know, to me, I think that represents a pretty nice value. I think it is a very attractive watch, even though I am not a serious diver. I am a desk diver. But it does fit my lifestyle really comfortably because it usually involves jeans and a t-shirt. And we're back with some final thoughts on Crafter Blue. And Crafter Blue was started in 2013 by Steve Chan, a self-proclaimed Seiko enthusiast, and who among us isn't one of them, when he realized that his favorite divers' watches didn't have a high-end rubber strap with the curved ends. So in 2014, he gave us the first rubber strap with the curved ends for the Seiko Sumo. And that proved to be really successful, that he followed that up with the same curved end rubber straps for the Tudor Black Bay. And now he's introduced us to the Mechanic Ocean. One of the things I like about Steve and the Crafter Blue team is, even though they are Seiko fans, they didn't simply give us another Seiko-looking diver's watch under the guise of homage. Instead, they gave us a really quality watch with its own unique look and unique characteristics. So, for example, with that helium escape valve, will most of us use it? Probably not. But whether we are a serious diver or a desk diver, it's a nice touch. And I think it's really wearable away from the ocean. So for me, for example, I usually dress pretty casually, usually in jeans or an Oxford shirt and a t-shirt. And I think it wears really well with that, just as well as it does with a wetsuit. And I think that is the advantage Crafter Blue has, that they created a unique looking timepiece. And again, if you like what you saw, I will leave a discount code in the description. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. What's up, guys? It's your... No, I already did that. Oh, and we're back with some finals with the Mechanic Ocean. And no, it's not upside down. Oh, it actually is upside down. And Crafter Blue was started in 2000 and Crafter Blue was started in